Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today, the Piano Cafe Virtual Connect present a special event. Here we presenting the very passionate woman in the industry. We give some description. Ethel Costa, she is award-winning lifestyle journalist, also founder CEO the Think Geek Media. Today, this event is very a special event to us because in the history of Bangladesh, first time we talk with the lifestyle journalist. Today we talk about the possibilities, about our business opportunities, and more things. So let's talk with Ethel Costa. Ethel Costa, how is you, ma'am?
I'm fine. Thank you. Eid Mubarak too. And the lovely sunshine in Malaysia. So nice. It's a
Thank
good
you.
feeling.
One special person give you greetings, and he is now screen with us. Please let's talk. He is welcoming Ashrafuzzaman Ujjwal. He is the president of Bangladesh Travel Writers Association. Welcoming Ashrafuzzaman Ujjwal. Please give your greetings, Ethel Costa, very famous and popular lifestyle journalist. Ashrafuzzaman Ujjwal.
Eid Mubarak, Assalamu alaikum, and hope to listen your nice experience, and I will request you to both of you that through you we like to welcome you once it is the world will be normal after the COVID things. Then we like to welcome you to visit Bangladesh, and
thank you.
We'll be happy to have you here. Thank you.
Yeah, would be my first time. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Ashrafuzzaman Ujjwal, very renowned traveler in Bangladesh. He is the president of Bangladesh Travel Writers Association. Very good organizer. He is also catching with me. Thanks, Ujjwal bhai, coming and be with us. And let's see, let's listen our guest talking. Ethel, now we want to start some question. How is the feeling? First time you talk with Bangladeshi entrepreneurs.
So I think all entrepreneurs are like-minded entrepreneurs. We have the same passions, we have the same spirit, we have this, let's do or die kind of, mindset of doing things. We are all explorers and adventurers in our own way, correct? Because we won't leave a mark of what we do in the world, whether it's big or whether it's small, kuch karna chahiye, that kind of thing, right? And I think when all entrepreneurs, whether they're men or women, kind of have the same mindset, I think a lot of changes can happen in our own society, in our own community, and at the industry at large. So I'm quite excited to kind of get acquainted with Bangladesh and figure out what we can do together. Because as I said, I have a vision as well, to kind of connect India, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Bangladesh, and vice versa, So that's a vision for 2020 till COVID came along, but I'm not moving from that path. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. One thing, can you please share how you involve or why you choose lifestyle journalism?
Okay, so I've always had a huge passion for I think lifestyle, because I was born and raised abroad. I had different global exposure in terms of music and fashion and people, and generally what you learn and feel when you are born in a different country. So I think my parents, especially my father, kind of encouraged me, to kind of to open up my mind, right? In his own simple way, because I am till today extremely curious as a person. I like to know why things are what it is. I question everything, and I want to know more and more of what is happening around. So I think that natural curiosity has got me where it has got me today. So when I say lifestyle, I'm talking about anything that kind of gives you a sense of an experience, right? Also, as I said, curiosity is very important to kind of, to keep asking yourself the right questions, whether it is including politics, including your social situations and circumstances. I have found I had a natural flair for it because it came so naturally to me, and I made a career out of it. So, yeah, and I love it.
Okay. My another question, that is, you we are hearing that at beginning you stay in Goa. Can you give
Yes,
some brief?
about Goa, right? So, Goa is my father's home.
Yes.
I was born and raised in Kuwait. I was born and raised in Kuwait in the Middle East. My father kind of got the family down after the Gulf War happened, correct? And it took me quite some time to understand, as I said, you always have a conflict between where you are born and raised and where you come to stay, right? I think after, as I grew up and I kind of matured in my thought processes, I began to understand why my father brought us down, brought me down to Goa. And before I knew it, I was liking it, but it took me time. I made a very successful career in Goa, and that made me understand the land even more better and the people, because then I felt I could contribute actively to it, correct? Because I began to see it from my father's eyes, of what the land was all about. And yeah, it's a wonderful place. It has happy people. There's great food, very good weather. It is naturally green. It has coastal beaches. It has a nice influence of Portuguese influence, because the Portuguese were in Goa for 500 years. So they've left some very good, architecture and culture, food culture as well, that has become part and parcel of the actual resident Goan. So Goans have learned to assimilate between Indian traditions and European traditions that also became part of the cultural ethos. Yeah, and I think a Goan takes that sunshine and happiness wherever he or she goes, correct? Because we believe, that we are people of sunshine, correct?
Yes.
And yeah, and when you tell people that you are from Goa, their whole mood changes. Their facial expressions change. They say, "Oh my God, we know Goa, and we're so happy that you're from Goa." So it's great. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Okay. Another question, that is, can you give a little explain what is lifestyle journalism?
Okay. So basically, I think so. Lifestyle journalism can be, or is kind of broadly categorized into travel and tourism, hospitality, people, food, a way of life or a way of living. Fashion makes a big part of it because it is an expression of the way you live. And, I think everything that kind of talks about um, how you can improve a standard of living or a way of life, and also kind of influence somebody else to change, their standard of living and way of life as well. I think that basically kind of categorizes into lifestyle journalism. because it is everything about a way of life or a way of living or a thought process that leads to a way of life. You understand, right? So I think that that is basically what lifestyle is about, which is also about health and wellness because it is a way of living. I think if you are naturally kind of oriented towards writing of this particular format, I think you can make a very successful career because it is it's vast. It has huge potential to be able to kind of create positive changes in somebody's life. I look at it that way. I look at it as a gift to be able to communicate and help inspire other people to live a good quality life, which is also about simplicity in thought, in heart, in mind, in spirit, and soul. Because I think that is what it should all be, it is not about ego journalism, if you understand what I'm saying, right? Um, it is not about snob value. It is not about saying my life is better than your life or that I'm richer than you are. If you understand, right? I think it is about facilitating and communicating a very positive way and standard of living. That's it. I look at it that way.
Okay, we come to Ashrafuzzaman Ujjwal. If you have any specific question to our special guest, please.
Uh, I have just one question, and then I have to leave. Sorry, I have some other things to do. The
Yes.
question is, the world is going through a tough time right nowadays, and so
Right.
as a travel writer,
Right.
how
Right.
will aware our readers or in our write up, like how
Correct.
they will travel and what the safety measurement they should maintain, and what do you
Correct.
think, like for the domestic tourism and inbound and outbound tourism compared to
Right.
in this situation in this SARC region?
So I look at it from a very multi-pronged vision of it, correct? View of it, because being locked down also kind of, helped me broaden up my own perspective on travel because I love travel. I've always loved travel. The fact is to kind of, I think is not to be first paranoid, consumed by paranoia, because paranoia is very negative. Secondly, the situation is what it is, correct? You can take care of yourself by being safe, first of all, by experiencing or, kind of following self safety first and self care first, and then venture into kind of, an outside world, which is our travel world. So for the time being, I think people like us who love travel and who are passionate about travel will feel grounded, will feel kind of stuck in a particular space, which I think is great because it kind of also helps you put things into perspective. Because I'll tell you, Ashraf ji, what has happened. Travel had hit such a frenzy that we also kind of caused damage, I feel, right? By not being conscious travelers. So we abused spaces. We added on to pollution. We added on to garbage. We left so much of carbon footprint out. Correct? By not being conscious, by creating this kind of pressure on the planet. I feel, but with so much of human footprint around, that this has kind of helped us to kind of stay home and re-look at it because the planet is all that we have, correct? And we should become custodians of it and not violate it. So I think travelers can look at it from that personal kind of contribution to the planet. In terms of business, I think it will take some time, but not to lose hope, to maybe reinvent ourselves a little bit, reinvent the wheel a little bit, correct? And see domestically what we can do in the spaces that we are, because we learn to travel out so much, and maybe learned to kind of not to appreciate what we have at home as well. So I think in the short term, domestic tourism will be what it will be, because people will want to get out of homes. People will want to kind of maybe explore their own country and what the country has to offer. And then gradually, as we get more comfortable with our safety measures, I think transportation will open up, airlines will open up, because they are taking such a big, huge hit. Travel will get expensive because they are trying to make up for safety measures first. So I think everything is a step-by-step process. But I think the goal is to not lose hope, is not to be discouraged, and maybe as travel writers, look inwards more into our own country and support local businesses, support local hospitality, institutions and brands, because some of them are shutting down because the cost of operation is so high. Maybe encourage more of our travel within our own country. Maybe support local food, right? Local restaurants, local food creators and food, farmers and growers. So I think the short term is this, because it's also some way of kind of giving back to your own community. It's also kind of re-looking at our own larger role, on the planet, and how we can become some sort of, instruments of change in the larger scene. So domestic tourism, I think, will be the one that will be, the first go-to. And then when things get a little kind of comfortable, we will look at, international travel opening up, country to country businesses opening up, collaborations opening up. I think wherever there are safe zones and green zones, other countries can also participate by, sending their own people to these zones. We were just discussing that ourselves in Malaysia here. Such a beautiful country, correct? And there are green zones which are, COVID free. Why not to kind of encourage travel within green zones? But as I said, everything is a step-by-step process, without losing heart, without losing faith, and not giving up. I think giving up is not an option.
Okay, thanks, Ujjwal bhai. You are very busy today. You have a lot of work for my invitation. You accept and give me time. Thanks, our studio,
Thank
Piano
you
Cafe
very much.
Bangla,
And
Connect.
she's very right that I like the answer she did, that don't lose the hope. That's the actually
Yeah,
spirit. So we
yeah,
have
yeah.
to
Losing hope is not
actually,
an option. Yeah.
yes, yes. So someday
Ashrafuzzaman,
hope.
Ujjwal, can you please give her an invitation to visit our beautiful country?
Sure, sure, sure.
We are host.
Once everything will be normal, then definitely I personally from our association I will invite, and will host for her. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay,
I'm so
thank
looking
you.
forward. Thank you,
Thank
Ujjwalji.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Very renowned man in our country. Very passionate. He do lot of work in industry. I am very much happy to introduce you, Ashrafuzzaman Ujjwal. Let's. We have
Nice.
another question. Um,
Right.
that is some. Now you are in at Malaysia.
I'm in
How and
Malaysia. Correct.
why you are here? How is the life here, and any challenges or opportunity at Malaysia now?
Right. So first of all, I must say I'm extremely happy to be in Malaysia. I was invited by Malaysia Tourism in November 2019 to visit as part of a huge international media junket. I had before never traveled to Malaysia. I did not even know, things about it in terms of what the country was all about. I came to this country and completely and absolutely fell in love with it, because I think the country also has fallen in love with me, because this is my third visit. I came in March, and then the lockdown grounded me completely, and very happily grounded me. But I have never felt more at home in this country than anywhere else that I've traveled on this planet, and I've really traveled. The people are wonderful. The nature, greenery, the quality of air, the quality of food is absolutely what kind of makes me happy. And the locals have completely embraced me as their own. They take care of me as well, because I see their love and concern that happens when I go anywhere, to a grocery store, or I'm walking or I'm exploring. There's always so much of love to share. So I'm very happy that I'm here. As an entrepreneur myself, I see huge potential in Malaysia, which is unexplored, uncharted by maybe other countries, maybe by Malaysia also, because the ways of doing business are different. The way people, rest of the world look at Malaysia is different. And Malaysia has so much to offer, so much to offer. I think it's a completely blessed country in terms of its natural resources. There's the ocean, there are fantastic looking islands, there is nature, there is mountains, there is such a huge food culture. There's a huge wellness, good living culture. The people are generally warm, very courteous, helpful, very accommodating, very friendly. So I think these are all positives to kind of to explore and to invite other countries and other places to invest, if you know what I'm saying, right? Into the country, itself. So you get business opportunities into the country, and thereby creating more economic wealth and more employment and more support systems and stuff. So I'm very keenly exploring these avenues, because I sense that there's a potential that can be created with the support of Malaysia tourism. I think lots more can be done, even more. So I'm actively looking at their support as well, to maybe invite Bangladeshi entrepreneurs to invest into Malaysia, in terms of travel and food, in terms of hospitality, in terms of tourism, in terms of film, as we were talking, film shooting destinations. It's such a fantastic country. I mean, there's everything here. There's studios here. There's good production hands are available here. Good locales to shoot here. So there's backup teams that I've met. Uh, right from producers to line operators, so they're all available here, right? And weather conducive, is also conducive to also make shooting viable and a viable option. Same way in India as well. So there are resources, natural and human resources, which I think you have to be able to kind of push ideas through. As I said, in a very focused, resilient manner. And as I said, giving up is not an option. You have to be able to kind of stick to plans, stick to ideas, and get like-minded support. Of people like yourself, people who are heading well-known organizations, travel writers, other entrepreneurs, correct? And get them together, correct? But that's the only way to work. I think collaboration is the only way to work, because you can't afford to work in isolation today, and it's not even a feasible option to work in isolation. So the more people collaborate together, the more productivity, the more ideas that can be pushed forward, and everybody grows. I think that's the way forward.
Okay, ma'am. We want to looking back.
Yes.
Something we want to say, want to know about you. That is,
Right.
in 2018, you
Right.
getting Women Empowerment Award,
Right.
and
Right.
from Goa Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
That's
How
right.
was the feelings?
So it's always nice when organizations, very prestigious organizations, recognize your contribution, and it kind of encourages you to kind of even do more, to even kind of be, to stay focused on the path that you've set for yourself, to kind of help others also along the way, because I think that's the way to also do, right? You just don't go do it yourself. You also encourage and pull and take other people along with you as well. So yeah, but when such a huge chamber of commerce recognizes what you do in your own way, I think it's huge. For me, it's really huge, because uh, I think more and more women need to be encouraged to step into being entrepreneurs. We all look at support systems where we can be supported, where our growth can help us,
Um,
because then we can help others as well. Yes.
2015, you received.
Yeah. Are we good?
Yes.
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 Yeah, you were saying something. Can you hear me?
Our next question. Yes.
Yes.
You don't hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Our next question to you. Yeah. 2010 and 11, you received Pillar of Hindustan Society Award. Can you tell about that?
Right. So this was in Bombay, which is another chamber of commerce, with all very senior entrepreneurs, who get together, and they and it's a very prestigious body of heads of state, different kind of authorities in their own verticals or categories of work that they do. A lot of local consul generals of different countries are also part of the entire establishment and organization, because they also look at commerce happening between their countries as well from India. So to be recognized by them, as this young entrepreneur, media entrepreneur, who kind of is trying to kind of step into and do something on her own, or influencing a certain section of readers with her writing work. I think these are all kind of very positives. I look at them as positives when recognition comes from organizations of this sort, especially when it comes unexpected, because you think you're just this a slow and steady turtle, who's doing things a step at a time. Correct? Slow progress maybe, but that's okay. And then to have very prestigious bodies, just picking you up for an award, picking you up for recognition. I think it's encouragement. I look at it as encouragement, because when it happens, you feel like you know you feel like God is listening to you. You feel like what you're doing in small measures is making a difference, and it's largely, I think, making a difference to you, to your life, right? Because when you become more and more positive, your work becomes even more stronger, and people who are also kind of looking at you to provide maybe support, help, guidance, or also feel encouraged that if Ethel can do it, so can I. If she can do it, so can my daughter. I think I think it's I look at it as very encouraging. I think this is and it's a blessing. So all blessings are welcome.
Okay, ma'am. Let's tell about your company, which you now
Right,
organized, or yes.
right,
Tell me about your organization, Think Geek Media.
right. So I formed Think Geek Media as a very underground sort of a brand in 2003. That far back, when I was still an employee with the Times of India. It was basically kind of started out as a very art and culture platform, because I am naturally interested in art and culture. I wanted to provide a platform for musicians, for artists, for people who are into authors, writers, painters, drive more community centric work through that platform. And then gradually that platform grew up and grew bigger and bigger, and then it became a much more larger idea, where people from out of Goa began to be inspired by it. So there were people from out of Goa who came and contributed to it, in terms of their talent. So we had music concerts, we had jazz festivals, we had art festivals, all in open spaces, public open spaces, public open gardens, open and free to the public. There was no fee, there was no ticket, In other words, anyone who had talent could become part of it. So it became like a huge platform for almost 2 3 years, and I was extremely happy, doing it. And then as it evolved, I think a bigger idea, began to form, because I understood the potential of expanding the format, because the expansion of a format would mean bigger ideas could happen, correct? And the bigger ideas happened for when clients saw the potential of me doing things for them as well. And I think that's how the business model grew, from very community-centric events to, to people-driven events, then to people-driven concerts, then to, to brand-driven communication, brand-driven public relation, and it just grew step by step. And I think today, though I continue to keep the focus on passion and purpose and very authentic, as I call it, authentic communication, because I think so that stands the test of time, correct? Wherever that my company can make a difference, can contribute to whichever place that we are, whether it's through building brands, or supporting talent, or supporting a country, or supporting an idea. I think that's the focus, because honestly, I don't want to get lost in commerce. You understand that, right? I would
Yes.
rather be, yeah, I would rather focus on purpose, and through that purpose, find a way to convert that into a way of living, which also sustains the company, also sustains brands, also sustains community at large. And I think, COVID has taught us that money is not the route to happiness. COVID has taught us that what you give back comes back to you in many different ways. COVID has taught us that a more healthy way of living is the focus today, because life is unpredictable, and you're here today, gone tomorrow, right? But what difference you can make in the present now, I think is important. And I hope that that is the direction that we will now take ourselves as well. Yeah.
Okay, how many branches currently you operating?
Okay, so we are definitely looking at India, with and when I say India, it is India as a whole. My hometown, home base is Goa, so Goa will always be a priority. Secondly, Mumbai. So I'm most definitely looking at India, Malaysia, in this financial year, because as I said, I've already kind of positioned myself here. So idea would be to kind of open up these avenues. I'm looking at as I said, like-minded organizations and entrepreneurs as yourself, to also be able to maybe take it to Bangladesh, because I see potential. I see potential in industry. I see potential in the numbers. I see potential in like-minded value systems. And the fact that that there's a potential to grow, and wherever there's a potential to grow in conducive environments is the place to be. So cultures meet, correct? People and communities meet because they're like-minded, and also kind of driven. And hence,
Yes.
if you can make a difference, you should make a difference.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Another question, that is, can you share some memories with us,
What
which
kind
is
of memories?
very deep in your heart?
So the one clear memory that I have, and which has become my philosophy of life, is when I told my mom when I was 8 years old that when I grow up, I will be rich, famous, and travel the world. And my mother, continues to remind me of that, because I think so. I kind of ended up doing all that, through in my career and in my life. I don't know about the rich part of it, but I think I'm rich of heart, and that is very precious to me, because as I said, you cannot judge somebody by money, right? You have to kind of know where you come from, what is your heart all about, because that is character, that is everything. Money is
Yeah,
just money is just a means, to be able to execute an idea or execute the way you live, to take you from A to Z, right? But how you take yourself from A to Z will be heart, and people remember that. People remember that your actions that you create through that heart process will get you your fruits, if you know what I'm saying, right? Which may not necessarily be money, but goodwill, but blessings, and good graces, which I am blessed. I am blessed by it, because wherever I have gone, I've only found blessings. I've only found compassion and love. I've only found people helping me, like yourself, correct? I've only met people who have supported a dream, supported an idea, and I think that goes into a larger context of what you can do better. So I think that's a very strong kind of philosophy to have. And the other memories are what I think. Um, my home, being able to buy my home in Goa, which was extremely fulfilling for me, because I had always told my father that I would do that, and I did. Correct, which is important because it is shelter, right? It's also a way of kind of saying that um, putting your blessings in the form of where you can be safe and thrive from. So I look at having my own home, or being able to buy my own home in Goa, as a very strong and vivid memory. Yeah, I think that's what it is. That's what it
okay,
is.
Ethel, if we know you have a very strong experience in lifestyle journalism, but when you start in beginning, what is the challenge you facing to
Right.
become a Ethel da Costa now?
Oh my
What is
God.
the challenge
I think the
now?
biggest I think the biggest challenge when we came back to India
This is
was to
very
introduce the concept of.
memorable thing. Look at back 25 years when you
Yeah, it
are
is.
a
No,
start.
it is. It is. It is. Trust me, because I'll tell you, because it was very funny, because in 1990, when I first started my career as a journalist in Goa, uh, introducing lifestyle journalism to the reader became difficult, because the reader had no idea what lifestyle journalism was all about. They understood politics, and they understood social driven journalism, right? They understood crime, but they couldn't understand lifestyle journalism at all. So to be able to kind of get them to become readers and get them to buy into the idea was, I think, my biggest challenge, because it was part of my life any which way, because I said I grew up abroad, I came to India from a different kind of a culture scape. So it was so natural to me, but it was not natural to the people of Goa. It was not natural to the readers, because they couldn't figure out, why fashion had to be written about, why travel and food had to be written about, why nightlife had to be written about, because it is not what we want to know, or we want to read. I think that was my challenge. Luckily for me, I had a very good publisher, who became like my champion. So he was like, just go ahead and do it. If we are starting a new trend, so be it. We will get people to kind of how do I call it, to elevate themselves. You know what I'm saying, right? To accept the form that this is a new style of writing, and that and that you are the queen of it all. So it's important to have to have bosses like this who put their full support behind you. So I was lucky because I think throughout my career I had very good bosses who kind of gave me a big large platform to explore, to put new ideas together, and from there I just grew and grew and grew. That is it. Yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating how you start off and then where you end up.
Okay. A few words
Yes,
about our community and industry. How to sustain? Now we facing a big challenge all over the world.
right,
Travel and tourism is totally off. Now,
correct.
some few words for community.
I think as I was saying, and we, myself and Ujjwal ji agreed on. I think the idea is not to lose hope. Is to not give up. I know that times are hard, and all of us have taken a hit as entrepreneurs, right? But somehow we have to learn to ride this phase because see, it is also basically an understanding of how we look at our businesses now, how we look at ourselves as leaders, correct? And as business owners, um, and count our blessings because there are people who have been far worse hit, who are way down the economic strata, where people have lost jobs, lost livelihoods, people who are, who put food on the table are struggling. The labor class is struggling, correct? Because they're all daily wage workers. And to kind of be grateful of the fact that we are not bad off. I think the idea is to kind of relook at the industry, support, government initiatives because they are stepping in to help as well. See how we can also help and expedite what we are doing in different ways, and to kind of reinvent the wheel, right? Where we can reinvent the wheel, maybe cut down expenses which are not required, invest in people. We have to be able to invest in our own people, because people make businesses, and people become the driving force of what we do, as business owners. So maybe invest in your employees who matter. Let go of things that don't matter, like I call it, trim the fat. What is not required, let go of it. Correct? And maybe get our business models stronger, more heart in the way we hustle, and take it step by step, one day at a time. That is it.
One of your well-wisher make a question to you. That is,
Yes,
after end of the pandemic,
yes.
where you are planning to travel?
And because I think
Mr.
you can't,
Tawfir Ahmed, he's from Chittagong, and he want to
right.
know where you planning to travel
Why
after
am I planning
pandemic.
to travel? Because I love travel. I'm very passionate about travel. For me, travel is also, besides business, is also soul expansion. Because I think, I believe that our time on this planet is very limited, and we have to be able to experience what we can experience in this lifetime, which can help us become better human beings, can help us in our own growth, and support humanity at large. Also, to I think contribute to the fact that people who can't travel or don't have the means or the good fortune to travel, to also be able to kind of let them understand how to live with each other in peace and harmony. Correct? Without prejudice, without boundaries, without um, discrimination. I think travel allows you to kind of experience that in first hand, and also kind of experience how you can become a bridge to your own people and to others and other humans at large. Yeah, so if you passionately love travel, I think one should and must travel, first of all, to give yourself self growth. Secondly, to see how you can become part of a larger picture um, in your own society, community, family, and the industry at large, and see your own position. Where do you fit in, correct? And then fit yourself there and see what you can do to help, what you can do to grow, and how you can let that growth that has helped you help others as well. Because I think today we are all called for to become much more than just ourselves, to become much larger than who we are in terms of in terms of people, or in terms of persons and personalities. So I'm looking at travel that way. So and that's why I love travel, because wherever I've traveled in the world, I've made some fantastic connections. I've made people who help me also grow, help me become a better individual, and that's why I love travel so much.
Ethel, during lockdown, how
Yes.
you passing the day? This is
Oh my God.
very,
Yeah.
very tough job for us.
Correct. I think the first 2 days of lockdown, when lockdown was announced in Malaysia, because I was in Malaysia, I kind of felt I felt panic, to be very honest. I felt panic saying that, and I was in a hotel because people get so paranoid. People were just leaving the country in with a sense of paranoia. There was news of paranoia all over the place. So much of negative news, misinformation, everything. The world was going completely, absolutely mad. And I found myself alone in that situation and circumstance. So I think for that first 1 week, I had to train my mind to become grounded in myself, because I know if I had panicked, I would have lost it, because I'm in a different country, so there's no comfort zone. Uh, there is no comfort to fall back on in terms of people or friends. You're just on your own. So I said, okay, Ethel, you've got this, because you can do it, because you're strong, and because it is now required for you to do it. So I sat down and I made a day-to-day schedule for myself, which so I put 5 or 6 things to do every single day, right? Which were
Yes.
all positives, yeah, which were all positives, driven to keep myself occupied, keep myself focused on self care, which is my own self care,
Okay.
focus myself on self love, because that is the most important
Okay.
fundamental, self love and
Yes.
self care. Then you can handle everything else, which is in the outside external. So right from the way I was eating food, the way I was taking care of myself, the way I was, kind of resting, exercising, keeping all the positives around me, like music. I absolutely love music, movies, interviews, life coaches. I reached out to everybody, and they all reached out to me, correct? And I did master classes wherever that I could, which were up to my interests, which are all self-help and self-growth. I saw, travel movies, because to keep my passion alive. Third, as I said, no COVID, you will not have, you cannot make me scared. So I'm not afraid of you, because I believe in the Almighty. I believe in God, and He will take care of me. So I kind of trained myself. I mean, I do that till today, to do that. That if I am okay, and I have somebody which is much more higher than everybody else, in my corner, right? I can deal with anything that happens in. So I use these principles of self-help, spirituality in a very strong manner, and every day was one day at a time. That was it. One day at a time. I would get up and say, okay, I woke up alive, I woke up healthy. What do I do today? In my room. you know, because you can't go out.
Physical exercise or yoga or meditation. This
So,
is
yeah.
if you tell
So
about
I,
me.
right. So I don't know how to do yoga. I don't know how to do meditation. But
Yeah.
I do know how to exercise. So I have my own brand or style of exercising, which is through dance. So I put my music on and I dance to music, because for me it's also a way of recycling my own energy. So I did that, every day, 30 minutes kind of thing. I drank a lot of hot water, which I never did before in my life at all. So, almost like, non-stop hot water, doing, resorting to natural remedies of immunity boosting, like lemon, turmeric, amla, which are all natural immune system boosters, right? So I watched the kind of food I was eating. And yeah, I hope one day I learn yoga and I learn how to meditate, because right now I don't know, but I think I feel a very strong sense of guidance, spiritual guidance, and that has kept me going till today.
For awareness, any message for our community?
I think, and this is for men and women, right? I think all of us have to know ourselves more and more as persons,
Yes.
as in a very in a very spiritual manner, because I think it is the need of the hour today, because life has changed. Life will not be the same again. We have to understand, as I said, when we understand ourselves, can we apply that understanding to the world outside? That is the fundamental truth. When we don't understand ourselves, there's chaos inside, and when there's chaos inside, that chaos is amplified out. Correct? Because you take everything that is your inside chaos out to the world, which is also chaotic, and you magnify it even more. So I think so. I think the principal rule is to understand ourselves more and more. So go deeper, with whatever tools that you can, to understand yourself more and more. Relook at everything from a perspective of how can I be better, as a mom, as a dad, as a boss, as an employee, as a fellow human being, right? Because we all have
Yes.
roles to play, and if your role as a human is sorted, all your other roles are sorted out, right? It's a
Yes.
deep philosophical, thought process. You sort yourself out first, and all your other roles sort themselves out naturally, spontaneously, and in a very strong strength. So I think that is what it is. So all of us need to become better human beings. Have to understand that humanity is real, and that applies to how we treat animals as well. Correct? Because we are by no way some superior race. We're all interconnected. Us, animals, nature are all interconnected, and each one needs the other to survive and live a fruitful, healthy life. When the balances are all off, when we think we are so superior that everybody else is inferior, I think that's the mess that happens, and that is what COVID has taught us. I hope we've learned, our lessons with that. So COVID has been the great equalizer. It has leveled up everybody, rich, poor, irrespective of how you look, your skin color, irrespective of discriminations or prejudices and whatever. COVID has balanced, has become the great neutralizer. It affects everybody, irrespective of who you are. Big shot, small shot, no shot, that way. So I look at it as a big, huge lesson to learn, and I hope that all of us will learn this lesson, valuable lesson, and become different people.
Okay, we are very close to our program.
Yes.
Now, our two question to you. Can you tell when tourism start again? Have you any idea?
So in Malaysia, the lockdown, the conditional lockdown, as they call it, deadline is 9th of June, is what they say. I know that flights, airlines are slowly starting, because I can see flights, in the sky in the nighttime, which are kind of flying. So people will begin to come back to their to Malaysia, because they have businesses of their sort of or homes of their own. I see the government opening up business establishments in a very phased manner, which is great, because it's allowing everyone to kind of naturally slip into work. Correct? naturally slip into some sort of routine, which is a new normal now, right? So I see June being the time where everything will happen in a very phased manner, where businesses will open, travel will open, people will come back to the country who are out, of Malaysia. I see travel opening up domestically first, because I already know that big, huge hotel brands are already reaching out to locals, like they've reached out to me as well, to come and experience them, correct? So local travel spots are opening up, local hotel chains are opening up, all in a step-by-step manner. I think that's the right way of doing it.
Okay, this is very specific question to you.
Yes,
Seven truths about
yes.
Ethel.
7 truths about
Seven
Ethel.
truths. Yes.
Okay, wow. Okay. Um, Good. So I am very straightforward. I speak my mind absolutely in a very blunt and very clear and a very honest manner. That's my first truth. I think that stands for me. My second truth is that I dislike liars and dishonest people, because I put such a high value on truth and truthful communication. The third truth, I love shoes. I absolutely love shoes. I could go broke. I could have no food to eat today, but if I see a pair of shoes I want to buy, I will just go and buy that. Because food will come. So that way, um, I um, my fourth truth. Wow, I love to write. I mean, that should have been my first truth. That is my life. And I
Yes.
think I feel God's presence in my work, in my writing work. So it just flows, and that is my. I think that is my purpose. I believe it is my gift. It has a huge role to play, which I'm kind of finding out one day at a time, what I can do with that gift to help other people, to inspire them, to empower them, to maybe communicate, a form of spirituality that I feel I am being told, as a channel, that comes to me to be told. So I use that, as a gift. So that is my fourth truth about myself. Um, I love fashion. I completely love fashion. So that comes,
Yes.
which means
Yes.
clothes, clothes and makeup. So between my shoes and my clothes and makeup, I think I kind of decide which is priority first. So that is my fifth truth. Um, um, what is my sixth truth? Oh, I don't know. I can't cook. So if that is the truth, I I I cook.
Your sixth truth is you are friendly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that is a very natural extension of who I am, because I am that person. I'm very open. I'm very as I said, I'm very honest. I look at I look at uh, the good in people, because I believe all of us have goodness, and I look at that. I choose to look at that. Correct. The same way I look at goodness all around me, the same way energy connects with me. Correct. So I basically go with the principle that when you take your own good in others meets you as well. You understand that? Because I think that is a
Yeah.
very integral part of my life as well. You take good that you have, and put it out in the world, good comes back to you. And I see it every single day, from the people I meet, the things that happen to me just out of the blue, the way people come to my life, the way good things happen. It is all what you attract, as I say. If you put love, love finds you back. If you put hate, hate finds you back. It's the same thing. So you might as well put love, even when there is no love. You put love, because it comes back to you. It comes back to you. The universe sends it back to you. And that is, that is my sixth truth. Yes. And as I said, um, do I love to eat food? I can't cook food. I mean, in the sense that not, like how I see cooking shows and passionate people cooking food. I just cook food to survive. So, yeah.
Okay, ma'am, if someone want to take or choose to learn fashion journalism, what is
Right.
advice for them?
Okay. So I think the first thing would be is to have an absolute love for fashion. That's the first truth of it all. If you have an absolute love for fashion, then you find the tools to communicate that love, which is through journalism, as we call it, right, or to writing. So absolute love for fashion, a skill set for writing, correct? Because if you're going to combine both these things together, then you need to be able to express, right? And expression will come only in words, in
Yes.
writing, or yeah, either in the written form or maybe in the visual format, like like television or digital, where you need to use audio, video. So an understanding of fashion is an absolute must. Absolute must.
Okay, this is our last question to you.
Right.
And we
There are a
are
lot of questions.
very much happy that you give us more than 1 hour. We are
Oh my
grateful
God,
to you.
really? Wow.
Yes, we are
Thank
grateful
you.
to you. Last question to you.
Yes.
Give a message regarding our future, regarding our relation or future, our business opportunity or cooperation. If
Right.
you did
So,
something.
yeah, right. So I am looking at a very strategic way of bridging Malaysia, India, Bangladesh, right? Because I am uniquely positioned, to facilitate it with the kind of information I have, with the kind of backup that I have, which is also resource, with contacts with other entrepreneurs who are like-minded, who share similar goals and vision also for themselves. So I am looking at the next the next 6 months, 8 months, the financial year, to be able to push forward. There will be challenges because we already have a challenging situation that we are dealing with, which is unnatural, which is not in our control. How do you navigate in that circumstance, in that reality, right? Would be, I think, where all entrepreneurs like us are called forward to become more than just what we are, to navigate, to influence government authorities, to maybe think differently, to step up to support new ideas, to step up to support new creators of these ideas, right? And hence,
Yes.
countries will relook at old models of how they have done business in the past, with maybe introducing new ways of doing things. And I mean that by putting support systems together, correct? To facilitate business, right? And not block and not put restrictions, on how people want to do business, but facilitate them. Because I think so, the need today is to think beyond the box, is to think outside of the box as well. And for governments who have finance, who have funding, who have budgets, who have the know-how, skill sets, and the value system of resources that they can pool together and combine, to step up and help entrepreneurs like us. Because then we grow not only the country and the industry, we grow ourselves. We are able to take that same mindset to other countries as well and support those systems there as well. So it's very strategic. India, Malaysia, Bangladesh is very strategic right now because we are similar minded. We have similar workforces in these three countries. We have similar understanding of culture, tradition, spirituality, religion, food habits, correct? So those are all natural positives already. We are very adaptable as people. We know how to adapt. thrive, innovate, and survive. So I think these are very important qualities to have for entrepreneurs, right? And I see that similarity between the three countries, correct? And see how we can, take this
Yes.
thought process forward, without, as I said, without losing hope and without giving up, and support each other to grow. So yeah, so all three countries are blessed with natural locations, beautiful places, beautiful people, beautiful cultures that are so unique. Take this and make it even stronger, and build it up as an industry.
Okay, ma'am. It's an honor, ladies and gentlemen. Today we present the famous journalist, Ethel
Thank you.
Costa.
Thank you. Thank you.
This 1 hour,
1 hour, right?
we listening valuable each piece. Ethel, thank you, and we invite you again. If you have time, then you give me another session to us.
Sure,
And
sure.
Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak.
Eid
Many one for
Mubarak.
you too.
Okay.
And thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Thank you so much for
now
this.
for in.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye.
Few words
Bye.
for our.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.